We all know life can take an unexpected turn. Shapell Depree of Greensboro knows that all too well.
Family circumstances, poor relationships, and struggling to belong led her down a path she deeply regrets. She tells me because of her faith and willingness to not give up. Her story is inspiring many today.
Everything that we go through has purpose.
Positive, outspoken, and relentless.
I couldn't see the person I am now sitting here with you.
Traits that describe who 45-year-old Shapell Depree is today. She holds on tight to the profound knowledge she's gained over the years after a season down the wrong path.
I was introduced to a certain type of lifestyle at an early age.
Depree was born and raised by her mother at Claremont Courts in East Greensboro. She and her mother shared a special bond until she passed away from breast cancer when she was 11 years old.
At that point is when I more so got around the wrong crowd, like later, more like high school.
So she turned to selling drugs. The death of her mother was too difficult to bear, and the relationship with her father wasn't where she hoped it'd be.
At that time, my dad wasn't as consistent as I needed him to be.
To tell you the truth, I've never really wanted to ever be away from my children. However, during those times, I was working in the food service business, and most of my jobs traveled, and I was traveling quite a bit.
Due to the lack of guidance at the time, getting under the influence seemed enticing.
It wasn't until like early 20s when I crossed paths with a gentleman that was actually a drug dealer, and I felt that I could do this. For some reason, I always had it in my mind that I could sell drugs and get away with it.
But she was far from right.
One night he was in a high-speed chase, and he led the police to my house.
Wow. And what was your expression and emotion like, when he arrived and police arrived with him?
I felt betrayed. From that moment on, I felt like he knew that. And everything continued to unravel from there.
Drugs and guns were all over the property. Depree eventually walked outside of her car to drive away until she realized police were following her.
They arrested you?
Yes.
What did it feel like getting into that police car?
Immediately, I felt as though my life was over. And I felt like I had let a lot of people down.
Depree was charged with 7 felonies ranging from possession of cocaine and marijuana, dwelling with intent to sell, and vehicle dwelling.
They told me if I worked with them that I would get less. It wouldn't be as harsh, like the punishment.
Her cooperation got her 5 years of probation and community service. While serving, she had a change of heart.
It did motivate me to go to school. I said, I need a degree now. I have to balance this thing out here because people are going to look at this record.
She gained an education and began to inspire others with her story.
She made it out of it, and she did not let it hold her back.
Depree now mentors men and women like her cousin Sierra Little, who also had a tough upbringing.
My mom, at times, back then, she was in the streets or had been incarcerated. So I definitely looked up to Shapell as a sister, and then it just became as like a motherly figure.
The two chat every day. Depree also put her story into writing. She's written a 2-part book called 7 Felonies. The first part talks about her childhood, and the second part focuses on her turning her life around.
I never knew so much was trapped inside of me at such a young age.
Writing can help with that.
Writing helped, and the book helped, and it has helped others as well.
Author, mentor, and a career in human services.
I never gave up.
We'll talk about a comeback. Depree hopes to get her books into the hands of those who have been incarcerated. She also owns a health and wellness business to help people suffering with depression and anxiety.